Princess Naya, and we are here with Tired Mum Presents Can I Shit in Peace? Yes, the all-important podcast. We're here to talk about just some regular stuff, and I am joined by a very dear friend of mine who I've known for, I feel like I say this every episode, but I have known you for over a decade at least, and we met on a course called Digital Women. So I'm going to leave it there, and I would like to introduce the amazing Anika Allen. Round of applause, everyone. all our guests in the studio, there's like 100. So thank you so much for joining me today, Anika.
Thanks
I know you had to move a lot of stuff around to accommodate my lastminute.com schedule, because as you know, I'm a can you do it tomorrow type person. And we're actually joined today by your daughter, who is parlaying with our TAM assistant, and I need to go and give her a big squeeze afterwards, by the way, because I actually didn't even get a chance to even say hello. But yeah, thank you so much for coming.
Well, thanks for having me.
Do you want to tell everybody who you are, what you do?
Cool. So I'm Anika Allen. I'm a diversity and inclusion professional, and I also am the co-founder of an award ceremony called the Black Magic Awards, where we celebrate the change makers and the trailblazers in the Black British community.
Yes, and you've been doing that ahead of time. Do you know what I mean? I think something that I like to point out about people's ventures and stuff is how ahead of the curve you are, because I think at this point, especially after all of the Black Lives Matter stuff and just the light being really shone on everything that we have to go through, you were kind of doing that way before the hype, if that makes sense, which is really commendable. Do you know what I mean? Like, because it really is something for our community, which is really, really positive.
Thank you. It's funny because today you see there's such amazing media outlets out there. Publishing wise, you've got got magazine, Galdem.
Yeah.
And obviously online wise, you've got your link ups, your GRMs doing really well and things. And I think back to kind of when I started and I had the lifestyle magazine Flavor Mag, and I was doing kind of like events like Flavor and Breaking the Ice and stuff.
And for those of you who don't know what Breaking the Ice was, like karaoke
it was like London's premier R&B and hip hop karaoke.
Yeah. And you're going back like what, 12, 13 years now?
Yeah, a long time kind of thing. So I feel like if I was doing a lot of the things I was doing then, it'd be even bigger than it was. I mean, obviously there were.
No, do you know what it is? You're just ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
And when you're a trendsetter and you're ahead of the curve, sometimes you don't get to experience the fruit of the labor, so to speak, and it's like, I think it goes back to that saying where if you're a midget standing on a giant's shoulders, you have a better chance, and you were just a giant because you was colossal. Do you see what I mean? Because look how many things you were doing at once. When you think back now, do you think, what was I doing?
It's true, because also by day I was working in TV production as well, and then you're doing all these other things, and so it's crazy to think about kind of the legacy, but I'm proud of the kind of, I guess, the journey and things, and also seeing the people that maybe I mentored or worked with me and seeing where they've gone and the places and spaces and how they've managed to grow their careers as well.
Yeah, it's true. Like your cover artists, do you know what I mean? Your covers of your magazines. Like I know you booked me for a couple of shows. What did we do? We done. There was one in Central London, Piccadilly Circus. What is that one on the corner? Club.
Yeah, that was
what was it called?
Café de Paris.
Café de Paris. Yeah, I remember doing that. Like, and it was absolutely amazing. I think you had a fashion show or something.
Yeah,
at the same time.
exactly.
You was always doing 500 things at once. When you think back now, in the moment, everyone's so busy on their own journey. You're just hustling, and it's like when you actually stop and think of how many platforms that you created to actually put people on that were up and coming, like, and especially with me, I've never had a label or anyone pushing me, so outlets like your own were always really, like, I was appreciative of them because it helped. Do you know what I mean? Putting me in the magazines. I remember you'd put Billionaire Girls Club in one of your magazines like years ago, and that company was only around about a year, so you was really ahead trying to help people get on. So yeah, that's really amazing.
Yeah, no, I think particularly, I think just throughout my whole journey, I've always been wanting to kind of like lift those unrepresented voices and amplify those voices as well. And so I think through everything I've done and kind of shared the stories untold and the people yet to be heard, and I think that's just followed me even in DNI. What I do is trying to kind of champion in talent and kind of building inclusive workplaces and things, and it's telling those stories, talking about who the senior leaders that are paving the way and things as well.
Yeah, it's good. And I think it's just like, as you said, it's like shining a light on the people that you don't really get to see. And people don't understand that it's working because of these people that are like trying to, do you know what I mean, like making it all work out. So obviously it's Tired Ass Mum podcast. We're here to talk about parenthood. How old's your daughter now?
She is just over 2.5.
Just over 2.5. Yeah. I remember I remember coming to the podcast, and I think I was an hour late. an hour, like literally.
Well, sorry, I was 45 minutes late today.
But
so.
well, listen, this is the thing. I remember coming. I was like, and it was all to do with my kids. I remember I blamed her, and it is. It's always the child. And I remember coming. I was like, I'm really, really sorry. And I think it was in the evening as well, so it was just hard. Do you know what I mean? So it's like now, fast forward, like you're coming to my podcast,
Yes.
45 minutes late. Do you know what I mean? Because it's hard to get out of the house. Like, how are you finding motherhood? Give me. I tell you what. Let's be specific. Give me a high. Give me one high.
I think the highs are kind of when, my daughter kind of wakes up and she's like, "Morning, mummy," and gives me a kiss and a cuddle, and like you can look at her
for everything.
Exactly, and you think, "Oh my God, you're the beautifulest girl in the world, and you're so loving," and things. So I think just the high is just kind of seeing her and seeing her develop and things.
Yeah, it is. And she's at that age now where you're going to start to really see all of these new things just happen, and you're like, "Whoa, it's wild." So give me a struggle point.
I think it's finding, as you said earlier, I do a lot, so kind of and I enjoy kind of doing a lot, and so trying to find that balance of motherhood and not having the supportive family, so I can kind of do some of the things that I want to do. And
for everybody listening, like Anika, you can have tell by the accent. She is in London, so a lot of her family is not in London. So your support network is probably made up of friends and your partner's family, right?
More friends, because his family don't live near me either.
Okay, so you're like,
So it's him and I, and then obviously even the friends aren't that close, and they're busy as well, so you can't always
lobby your kid off. And that's basically what it is. Like, and I think that sometimes it's like, it's hard to say it like that, but it's like, I just need rid of you for a minute because I really just need to concentrate. And I think that probably is a struggle for mums as well, because it's doing, like, I think my thing is I try to make sure everything's done, or I've taken care of everything before I do the school run, because then once the school run's done, I want to give her some attention. But then there are days where I just need to do this, okay? And she's like, "Mum, can you put your phone down?" I'm like, "Yeah, but listen, I need to do this." And you're talking about you want to go to Disneyland for your birthday. Mummy needs to do this. Do you know what I mean? And it's hard to just have that space. And I think that when Kizzy was about 6 months is when I realized I needed to move, because I felt like I was in no man's land in South London. As you said, all my friends are in London, but they're not 5 minutes away. And then I moved to near where my mum lives, and I'm fortunate enough that my sister-in-law lives 5 minutes one direction, and her daughter's 3 years older than my daughter, and my mum is 5 minutes down the other way. So they're my crutch, and they're the last minute, I've really got to do something, can I drop her off? And then in the times when they can't have it is when I feel like, wow, this is really tough for people that don't have people, because how do you do it? Like, it's either mum or dad, but then what about when mum and dad want to go? Do you understand what I mean? Like, how do you organize yourself?
I have to plan, like really plan and things. I think date nights between my fiance and I are kind of like few and far between, and things. When we have those, it's planned. I'm like one of the godparents, maybe like a month and a half, 2 months in advance. This day, can you have my release so I can,
sort my life out, shave my legs,
do something and things. And even a couple of weeks ago, my best friend, who's her godmother, had her so we could have like a spa day. And I was like, "Can you have them the night before?" She goes, "Oh, you got plans that before." Get to sleep.
And you know, it's like getting up in the morning and just taking care of yourself is such a bonus that people don't actually think of. Do you know what I mean? Like, on a Friday, Kizzy will normally go and stay with her nan. So Saturday morning, I know is mine. So if I want to go gym, I can go gym. If I want to do some work, I can do some work. If I want to lay down, I can just lay down and just be, and not have to actually get up and make the breakfast. And they're really small things that need to get done, but you add them up every day, it's a lot. It really, really, really is a lot.
And people ask me all the time, you're not just going to move back to Birmingham, because I have such a big support system there. When I go to Birmingham, it's like, here she is, grandmother's there, granddad's there, auntie's there, uncles are there. They're all like, when are we having her? And they're all happy to take her and things and stuff.
So is that an option, or is it just not an option?
Well, my fiance loves Londoner through and through.
And you've been here for ages
now. I've lived in London a long time. It's home. What I need to do is to make enough money so I can have my nanny, have my cook, and life's a bit easier because the help is there. That's all I need.
But you know, it's so funny because we've been trialing out this a service called TAM Assistant, and that is actually who's sitting with your baby right now. And a TAM Assistant is like, the idea was to be able to like order a mum like you order an Uber, and you order a mum assistant. She comes in a couple of hours and just helps with that fluster, you know. So it's like, and she's been trialing it out in the Chiswick area, and she's done so many different things. She's put stuff on Depop for mums. She's made phone calls for mums. She's done homework with the kids for mums. She's done play activities with the kids. She's done ironing. So she's done. There's a spectrum of different things that she has done and is doing that give mums a little bit of time. Because the thing is, it's like having a full-time nanny. It's like a full-time job's wage. Do you know what I mean? So a lot of us can't. We don't have that luxury. So yeah, we're gonna have to sort you out some trials so you can have a bit and see if that is something that can help out. And it's not childcare and it's not a cleaner. It's just someone slap bang in the middle that can just fill that gap. You know, you look at that pile of toys and you think, I need to go through that because some of that stuff is from when she's born and she don't play with no more. But you just don't have the time. It's like we're time poor, completely broke. We're broke out here.
Definitely. I was like today before I was leaving out the house, and I was like, oh, there's a pile of washing in the washing machine, there's stuff in the dryer, there's stuff on her side and things. So I thought, let me do a bit so it does. I don't feel so bad when I get home.
Exactly.
But it's just having someone to kind of, I guess, come and help.
Just fill in the bits. Yeah. And I think and because each mum is different, it's like having somebody that is flexible enough to jump into any kind of role. Because some people, like my sister-in-law, she's like, I will never have no one hanging out my washing. I hate the way people hang out washing. She hangs it out in a certain way. So it's like, well, let me hang out the washing, and then you sit there and you can do the homework or reading with my daughter. So she's not neglected and doesn't feel, do you know what I mean? And then you can move on, and then you don't feel bad. You feel like everything's getting done at the same time. It's like, it's a miracle. Do you know what I mean? And
I think every little bit helps when you're a mum, and it's like my childminder.
So how did you find a childminder?
So the childminder, so I'm in a like my local mums WhatsApp group and things, and so I just.
How did you even find that, Anika? Like seriously, Kizzy's 4.5. I don't even have a mums WhatsApp group.
Don't you? So I
how
literally.
did you find that?
So I just went on Facebook and found a few local kind of parenting groups as well. So I found that as a start, and then I kind of just read some of the kind of read some of the comments in the group, and then that led me to the WhatsApp group. And so somebody in the WhatsApp group then recommended her childminder, and she literally lived around the corner from me. So I was like, okay. So I went exactly. So then I went to visit her, and I was like, actually, I had a nice vibe, and she was literally 5 minutes from where I live, and location was one of the things that
really
needed.
important.
It was important to me and things, and someone that was clean, that would cook good food for her and things. And so she goes there, she loves it. But one thing that really helps is once in a while, my childminder will do her hair for me.
You lie.
Things like,
that's really good.
She'll just come home and her hair will be done, and I'll be like, oh, yes, thank you, Janet.
Do you know what? It's so funny because I put Kizzy's hair in cane rows all the time because I'm not doing hair every single day for school. Forget that. And she'll have it in for big 2 weeks at a time. And then when it comes to taking it out, I'm like, this is what I need my time assistant for right now. Because you just pull out all of these cane rows. I just can't take it. So that I understand. That is like a massive relief.
You know what? Some of my friends don't let the dads or their husbands or whoever kind of do the child's hair.
Okay.
No, my fiance, even if you're not doing the styling, you need to know how to take out her hair. You need to know how to wash her hair at least. And oil her hair.
Yeah, because what if you're not around?
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? It's so important. Like I remember, Kizzy's got her hair's quite short, so when she was really little, her hair was really fine and just there's not a lot of it. But I could cane her it, and then anyway, he was taking out the plaits and he's like, yeah. And he had YouTube up, like trying to teach himself how to cane her. I was like, babe, this is really nice effort, yeah. But right now, you're taking it too far because it's too soon and you're never going to be able to grasp it. You know when you really need to know how to cane her to do that. And I said, A for effort. I'm here for the vibes. When she gets a little bit older, you might be able to learn how to plait. But yeah, I thought, you're hilarious. You know when a man just wants I can do anything, yeah? But it just actually killed me.
That's good that he tried because some men wouldn't even put on YouTube. They just be like, that's your job. I'm taking it to the hairdresser.
He's very competitive. And this is where now I'm seeing it in Kizzy. He's very competitive. So it's like, I can do absolutely anything I want to do. So I think it's a little bit of that. Like, it's nice as well. I'm not going to take that away from him. But I think it's a little bit of the competitive season. Like, you can cane her, well, I can cane her as well. Like, but it's nice. And I think that daughters having their dads take interest in their hair, especially when they're black kids, is really, really important because we get a lot of stigma of, oh, look how hard it is to do and to comb it. Like, and when Kizzy was born, like, we make such a fuss over her afro. It's like, your afro, it's amazing. You know, like, because I know what it's like when you get to school. And then I remember being in school and thinking, man, I want a fringe. You know, like you see all the girls with their straight hair and a fringe, and that's not an option. It's not an option for the curly haired girls at all. So I think it's really important that they are idolized in their own natural state, so that they don't feel like, do you know what I mean? Like she goes to school and she's like, my hair's growing, and then her friend will be like, your hair's not long. She goes, it is. Look, you have one little plait coming down here. So it's like it's mad to see that it's so important that we do take an interest, and dad takes an interest as well. So yeah, I think that's amazing.
Definitely, and they're comfortable in their skin with their hair, regardless of the kind of, you know,
how it is. Yeah, exactly. What way it's growing. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's wild. Like, it's nice though, and it's inspiring. I think that the more dads do that, the more healthier relationships children, girls especially, will have with their own, the way they look and their hair and everything, just by making a few extra comments.
Definitely. You know? I mean, I only started my natural hair journey last year. Fully. I mean, I've been natural for a while.
You're putting me to shame now, Nika. This is the next conversation. Do you know what I mean? Because now Kizzy's like, oh, my hair like yours, mum, and I'm like, hey, no. And then it's like, I don't want to wear my hair in an afro. Like, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's just not my vibe, Anika. Like, so you are setting a really good example. But if you didn't want to have your hair, like, how would you cope with that? What is it like?
But I think it's you know, however you want to have your hair and things, you know. Before last year, I cut my hair off and went like, practically bald.
Yes, I remember the picture.
Because my hair had been falling out anyway after the pregnancy and everything and stuff. And so I just was like, you know, I'm going to cut it off and I'm going to start again. And you know, and that was tough for me initially, because I was just like, oh my God, because you just felt really vulnerable and just
really
open and so naked. Yeah. Because usually I'm having, you know, like either braids or my wigs or weaves and everything and stuff. And so, but you know, I've stuck with it generally. I've kind of, and my hair's grown, which has been great and stuff.
Probably
and
really healthy.
And yeah, and definitely it's grown back a lot healthier and things and stuff. And I think I'll still have like braids and stuff. But I think for the moment, I've been staying away kind of from the wigs and weaves and things. And because I'm mindful as well that she'll be looking up to me and be like, okay, well, mummy, your hair's like that, so why can't I have my hair like that? No,
exactly. And you know, it's so funny. So Shams and I went on holiday, and Kizzy come with us. And she's like, and then Shams is doing that week life, isn't it? So she's got different week for every day of the week. And so she's like, Auntie, your hair looks different today. And she said, yes, Kizzy, because it's a wig. And she's like, oh, it's a wig. She's like, yeah, I can change it. She's like, okay. And then this was when we was on holiday. So we've come back to thing or whatever, and I'm gone to get my hair done. And I've got weave extensions in there. And she's like, your hair's grown. Like, and I'm like, yeah. She's like, is that a wig? I said, no, it's not a wig. And then she said, did you take hair growing pills, mum? And I said, what? Like, you're 4. What are you talking? I don't understand where this is coming from, but they pay attention to everything. So as naive as I could be to think that, oh, she's 4, she ain't going to notice my extensions. She's there looking like, And then she's about hair pills. I said, oh, I can't. And then when I got it taken out, I came home and I said, oh, Kizzy, I had my hair cut. She's like, why? Why did you cut it? She's like, I like it long. So they are so, like this age, they're so influenced. Like, so, and this is like, when it comes to you like working and stuff, do you explain to your daughter that you're working? Like, what type of conversations are you having with her? Because she's only a little bit still, but like, how does it work in terms of like why she goes childminders, or do you know what I mean? Like when you're doing your busy, how do you convey that to her at in her early age?
So I talked to her about mummy working, but I still don't think she fully understands because say for the childminder will say, oh, where's mummy and where's daddy? And she'll be like, daddy at work, mummy at home, because I've been working from home and things. So she knows my computer's there, and she'll literally go in my computer chair, and we're pretending like she's me picking up the phone and typing on the computer and everything and stuff. So she knows mummy's doing something, but I don't know if she associates it with like work because I'm not going out the house, where she kind of sees daddy getting his van, like there's lift engineering is his day job, so she sees him getting his van and go out and something. So she knows he's not at home.
And kids are very, very visual as well, so they have to like see it to understand it and put 2 and 2 together. Like if you asked like it's like Kizzy knows our lives, do you know what I mean? She'll know exactly where we are, and she'll be like, oh, where's daddy? And I'll be like, oh, and I've looked at him, she goes, oh, is he at the gym? I'll be like, yeah, but he's probably at the gym right now. And it's like gym, then work, then gym. Do you know what I mean? So she knows daddy's either working or he's at the gym. Like, and they're so perceptive. Like, it's unreal. Like, and she knows, like, where my mum works, she knows it's the workplace. Oh, can I go to nanny's work? I'm like, why? Like, you know, so it's mad to think what they're taking in and what impacts we're making, like, putting on them from these early years.
Definitely. I think, and this is the time, as you said, they're soaking up so much. And I always say that, you know, kids might not listen to the words you say, but they'll watch your actions.
100%.
And so I'm mindful of the things that I do and things. So, you know, like, and just encouraging her. So seeing her, like, make sure you're picking up your toys and things, praising the behavior that I want to see in her and things. So if she's done something good, then I'll let her know. It's like last night, I normally do like prayers with her in the evening, and it's got actions and things like 2 little eyes and ears, and you're touching different. And yesterday she did all the actions perfectly, and I was like, oh my god, really, you're amazing. Because I was like, high five. She's like, high five, mommy. And she was like,
it's so excited. No, it's nice when you see them start doing those things, and it's like it starts to pay off. Do you know what I mean? Like, especially when they're young and you're doing stuff and they're like, what are you doing? And then all of a sudden they start just, you know, walking in the footsteps. It's really, really good. So because you and your partner, you're together, you run in the house, like, who's in charge? Who sorts out all the organizing and all the planning?
I think it's always mums in my household. In my household, generally it's me.
Okay.
Like, so I've kind of, you know, if she's going to be going to you know, any kind of course or you know, baby class or anything, then I've probably arranged it. At the moment, I'm looking for kind of, she goes childminder 4 days a week. I'm thinking of going to a nursery for 1 day weeks, and now I'm looking at kind of nurseries and nursery options and messaging, and also now I have to think about nursery options for reception kind of thing and stuff for September, and so it's me looking into all of that and things, and
is that by default, or is that because in the mornings dad gets up and goes, and she's left basically in your care? It's like you're organising her schedule so that you can basically do your schedule. Do you understand what I mean? So, it's like, so you're organising her so that you're then allowed to organise yourself. Because if you never organised her, you can't organise yourself. But then he can still organise himself. Yeah. Because do you understand? Does that make sense? It might sound mad, but I'm just thinking, it's like mums do. It's like, okay, well, I need to clear my schedule. So where can I put her while I'm doing my stuff? Like, do you know what I mean? But it does always fall on mum. Yeah, no, it does. I think schedules do all fall on mum. He's good in respect that he will say to me at the beginning of the week, oh, what are your plans this week, kind of thing, or what's happening and things. I mean, generally he'll forget anyway half the things I tell him. But he will say, and he'll try and fix his plans around my plans. There might be some things that he's doing, like outside of his day job, he's a singer. Yeah, I was just about to say that, because when you're a creative, sometimes it's really difficult to schedule, because it's all, a lot of things are last minute. You might get a studio session that you really need to do, or do you know what I mean? So it's like, whose day and priorities take the lead? Who's the president? Do you understand what I mean? So my priorities do take the lead. Okay. So he will, like, he will accommodate your schedule. He'll accommodate my schedule generally. As I said, if it's fixed things what he can't move, so like he had a show yesterday, and I would usually do netball on Thursday. So I was like, okay, I was sacrifice. So I was like, well, I said, what time are you going to your show? And he's like, I need to be there at 9. I was like, I'm trying to be a bit healthier and do a bit more exercise, because I'm sitting at home so much just doing work. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go to the gym till 8, come back, and then we'll change over and you go. So it's about compromise, really. So yeah, compromise is a big thing. Although when I did get home, she wasn't ready for bed and hadn't been bathed. Oh yes. So then, this is the thing. If that had been the other way around, she'd have been ready for bed and should have been bathed. Yeah. And you just need to put her in bed. 100%. And I think dads like to run on their own time and their own schedule, and it's like, yeah, it'll be fine. Do you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden you're like, hey man, like, you're putting her in the bath into bed, but then you're like, where's the nightclothes? Where's the towel? What soap are we using for her again? You know, like, there's so many questions that come along, and it's like, you know what, I might as well just do it myself. And I think that's something that I think a lot of mums struggle at, letting go of the responsibility, because it's done to, in your eyes and in my eyes, well, definitely for me, I feel like my way is perfection. Well, very, very close to it. And then it's like, when dad does it, you're not doing it my way. But then I suppose, why should he do it your way? Do you understand what I mean? Unless it's really just to benefit the child. But I think maybe, I know with me, I'm a bit anal. I like things done in a certain way. So it's like, can you not just do it this way? Well, it's like, but I'm going to get the same result just doing it in my own way. Like, is there flexibility in your life for that? Or are you like, do it my way or the highway? No, I'm very flexible. And I think some women martyr themselves too much and be like, oh, it's not doing it my way, so I'm going to do it. So then when you are tired or you are stressed because you've taken on everything, then it's because you haven't given him the opportunity to either, one,
fix up and get to, even if it's not your level,
A
to
decent level.
to a decent level. Also, some men actually do play on this. They do do like, actually, let me do a shit job, right?
So she won't ask me again.
So she won't ask me again and stuff. No, I'm gonna ask you until you're doing the job better, even if it's not perfection. Because probably before I may have wanted
Perfection.
Probably before I may have wanted perfection. However, I understand now. I need time more than perfection. I need time to do some of the other things that one are either bringing in money or feeding my soul or bringing peace,
whatever.
Something.
No, do you know, true? I think I'm probably I think that's probably one of my biggest negatives, because it's like I do really like things. I like them done in a certain way, in a certain fashion. I like her to. Like her schedule is tight. I like her to be in bed by a certain time. We have a schedule that we do when we go to bed. So it's like, oh, I'll just do it, because you're not doing it how I want it to be done. And I think sometimes, as you just said, it's like you kind of set yourself up for a lifetime of just doing it yourself. And like I remember ages ago, I think because I've been suffering a bit of migraines and stuff, so he's taken on a lot more responsibility in the morning, because the mornings I really was struggling. And I saw him cutting up her carrots and cucumbers for her lunch, and he's doing it sideways like this, and I cut it in like a block with like oblong, like rectangle shapes basically, and he was doing it, they're all like circles, and I'm standing there and I thought, what are you doing? Like, you're massacring the lunch, yeah? And I'm literally staring, but I can't eat. I didn't have I couldn't do it. My head was pounding. I had to let it go. So I left it. I don't even know what happened that day. Later on, she's come home, checked the packed lunch. She ate everything. So then it's like, in that moment, I learned a very fucking important lesson. It's like, bro, just because you want to cut it up like this because it looks nice in your fancy box, and he's whacked it in some foil and cut them in circles, she still ate it, which means that I'm making a situation out of something that doesn't really need a situation. This don't need a situation. It don't. Do you know what I mean? And I think that mums, as you said, you can set yourself up for a lot of extra work by behaving like that. So I think it's about really trying to play to your own strengths in the relationship and saying, okay, well, what things do you like doing with her, and what are you good at, and what do you not mind? And then compromising so that everything is split a little bit more fairly, but nobody's way out of their comfort zone and has to learn a brand new skill. Do you know what I mean? To like, as you're saying, it's like, yeah, it'll be nice if you could braid her hair, but let's face it, I'm the braider. Yeah. So you can learn as you go if you want, but I'm not going to force this on you as an extra job, but you can do the pulling out, you know? So
definitely, you've got to know where to let go. And it's like, I know swimming, as much as I love swimming, I don't like the effort that it takes to kind of go with a child swimming and the before and after. So I've said to him, Adrian, that's your job. It's your responsibility to make sure she knows how to swim. And there might be things that I might book for her, and then I might be like, this is your day. Take her there. I've booked it. It's paid for. You just need to turn up and take her for that time. And actually,
no, but the swimming thing has killed me though. Do you think that is a black mum thing with the swimming? Because you see me and the swimming, I've booked her. Off you guys go in the water. I've done one lesson when she was just born, and never again. I'm not going back in that pool. I don't want to be in the pool. I don't want to get my hair wet. I don't want to stand in the changing room naked and have you naked. It's too much. I don't want to do it. So yeah, do you think that is like, you know, because I have this stigma thing about black women don't like swimming or getting their hair wet. Do you think it's that, or is it just a normal thing, like other mums are the same? Because I swear, when you're saying that, I'm thinking, yeah, that's what I said to him. I said, right now, if she can't swim by the time we go back to Jamaica, be it on your head, because this is your responsibility now. I can't swim. I don't like swimming. Don't like the water, and she's gonna have a negative experience with me because I'm. Do you know what I mean?
So if I've got my hair in braids and I like swimming, I'm good to go. But otherwise, it's stress and it's the chlorine, the having to wash. Obviously, you can't just wash and go.
No, and it's a whole cream and
so he can go in there and wash and go. And actually, and I took her a couple of times when she was baby, and actually I did say not again, because the only time I enjoyed it was when my mum was with me, so that I could have help. You're trying to like go to the changing room, get your clothes,
getting out of the pool was like a drama. You know, you're like, nah. I think I've done one lesson. I was like, look, I'll come with you, but you get in with her, and then I'll take her out, I'll wash her and everything. You get ready, and then we'll leave. But yeah, it's a lot. But I like the idea of splitting up responsibilities. I think it is it's very healthy. And it just allows you to be able to enjoy the activities you're doing as opposed to being stressed out with absolutely everything, you know.
And I think mums that don't split that activity, like, it will never be equal. And and I'm not saying I'm not fine with that, but I understand
That
that's
it
just
it's working out.
it's
Yeah.
working out, and I understand generally that's how it is. But I feel like where parents where it's really really one sided, I think eventually you'll be resentful.
Yeah, it's
and
true.
things because
And I think as well, children, especially if you do have an active father, when they grow up, let them have memories with their dad. Like, do you know what I mean? You don't want to grow up with like, yeah, my mum, it was just my mum. So my mum done everything. Because then that's the curse of the cycle then, because then they would be like, well, I have to do everything. Like I remember when Kizzy started nursery school, the teacher said to me when I came to the school one time, she was like, oh, is Kizzy's dad a chef? And I said, a chef? And she said, yeah, a chef. I said, no. And she went, oh, because she keeps talking to us about daddy and his sharp knives and in the kitchen and da-da-da. I said, oh, no, he's not a chef, but he does the majority of the cooking in the house. So obviously he must be saying, no, these are sharp knives, da-da-da-da. She was like, oh, okay. But we just thought he'd done it for a living. And it's like the assumption is I would be at home cooking and he must be working. There must be like some type of work that why he's cooking every day. And it just made me think that these are the stereotypes that we've been born into, we live into, and still today in schools, the teachers are still very much, we're just in that mindset of mummy duties, female duties, which are, you know, like it is what it is. I think I'm in the middle with it because we're moving into this really grey area where the genders are getting lost completely. So it's really difficult to be so like, yeah, we need to be equal, but at the same time we still can have mum things and have dad things. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely. I think, as you said, school need to understand this and not be playing into the stereotypes. You know, if a girl wants to play with a car or
It's
a
okay.
robot, it's okay. If a boy wants to play with a doll,
Yeah.
it's okay. And things. And also, it's funny. I was thinking the other day because I did a guest lecture at the University of East London. I was thinking,
So you just drop that in there. Oh, I did a guest lecture. See, you'll just do so much, Anika. Go on.
And I was thinking, when I was at school, college or uni, not once did I have somebody come in and kind of like speak to me about kind of like industry or life or things like that. And actually, I think now, schools and teachers and things are embracing those kind of things. So now if kind of parents are coming in and saying, you know, I'm a mum, but I'm a scientist or I'm an engineer and things. I think, you know, it's
becoming more common.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think I think you're right. And I think it's really important, man. And I think everything that you're doing and just the tips and stuff that you share, like what you have done today, are just really inspirational. And they're really they give a lot of impact without you probably even realizing sometimes. So it's really, really important that, you know, as mums and women in business, that we're always open to talking about the struggles and, you know, talking about how tough it can get, but at the same time the beauty of the labor, you know, after all of that. Even going back to all the stuff like your trailblazing years, Anika, you should be really proud of yourself. Like, you know, the Breaking the Ice, the Flavor Mags, the shows. I remember doing you had a calendar event, didn't you? Where you was doing eye candy. You guys were doing the most, like seriously. And all of those things that you've learned, now you can pass on. And it's like, it's just really, really cool. So anyway, we're coming to the end. I want to thank you for coming. But I've got one last question to ask you before you leave. We'll see if you're one of me or you might be a really lucky mum. But the question is, Anika, in your house, can you shit in peace?
I don't think you can ever shit in peace when you're a mom. Like literally, my daughter, like even this morning, I got up to go to the bathroom and I was like, just stay there. You don't need to follow me. But now it's like, mommy. Can I just have a minute? No.
And you know what? It just gets worse. It gets worse and worse. So thank you so much for coming, my darling. You're absolutely amazing. And hopefully we'll be able to do it again one day.
Yes,
all right?
definitely.
Take care.
Thank
Bye.
You.